I get it. Learning the piano or any instrument can leave you a bit deflated and uninspired, and it can be easy to lose your enthusiasm for wanting to learn it. In this video, I'm just going to give you a few things to think about really, and tips and advice on how to want to practice and to try and get your enthusiasm back up to where it was when you first started. So number one, let's start at the genesis. Go back to what made you want to learn how to play the piano in the first place. So going back to your original inspiration. So for many people, it's a piece of music, or it's a band, an artist, a composer that they really enjoy that inspired them to want to learn how to play their music or similar music. Maybe you went to a gig or a concert and you saw a musician and they really inspired you in that moment, and you went back home, found your nearest piano teacher, or started searching online for how to get started playing the piano, and you're really enthusiastic and you got off to a good start. Usually people start to lose their enthusiasm when things start to get tricky. It's really easy as a beginner to go from knowing nothing to knowing a lot in a very short amount of time. But we remain on this intermediate level for quite some time, like lower intermediate, intermediate, upper intermediate, because there is so much to know and learn, practice. There's a lot. It's a skill, it's a real skill. And in the age of everything being so instantly gratifying now, particularly with younger people, it can be tricky to motivate yourself if you're a younger person, or your sons and daughters if you're a parent and you really don't want your children to quit playing an instrument. So looking for that inspiration that fueled your fire when you first started. You don't always have to be learning pieces of music that are at your level or above. If you just want a break from learning a particular piece of music that you really love but it's taking longer than you wanted to learn it, step away from it for a while and just learn something easier. There are so many beautiful pieces of music out there that are more simple or not really technically advanced or difficult. As long as you enjoy the piece of music that you're playing, you don't always have to just be playing the next level up, the next level up. Sometimes you need a little bit of that back and forth just to keep your interest and your enthusiasm, and just to play pieces of music that you enjoy, that you can learn quite quickly as well. I feel that's really important and something that I have to remind my students as well. So my last point is actually to get yourself a piano practice journal. So these are ones that I have created. There are currently 2 different books. The covers are just completely different. The content is exactly the same. And I feel this is a really good motivator. So this is a piano practice journal that gives you lots of tips and advice, and it's over a 52-week period. So in other words, a year. So it's a really nice way to track your piano practice and sort of make you accountable for making sure that you fill in the days of the week on each week. To take you through it from the first page, you write in your name and my year of practice starts from, and the day, the month, the year. And then there's a page of pieces and songs I'd love to learn this year. And this is a really good way for something to aim for. So it's a title and the composer. You can put down as many songs as you like, or many pieces as you like. You could go through and tick them off if you wanted to. And then there's a whole list with tips for practicing. This is also in my other book, the Bitesize Piano Course, which is linked in the description, as well as these books where you can access this. There's also an example of a 1-hour piano practice schedule and how to break it down. I've done a whole separate video on this, so I'll link that down below as well. This is really useful if you're not sure what to do and you just need a bit of inspiration of what to actually play. And then week 1. So this is where you fill in your learning aims, something that you would want to achieve this week, and you have to be realistic, particularly if you're self-learning. If you have piano lessons, your teacher could possibly fill this in for you. And then there is a table with all the days of the week, what you practiced, and the total time on each of those days. And that's the thing that I think would be really motivating. And if you're like me and you'd feel maybe a bit embarrassed or a bit ashamed if you left it all blank. Obviously, if you're aware, you can't help it. I think it's a really good way to motivate you to practice, so you filled something in, you filled the box in. And then there's very useful manuscript along there as well, just for any musical notes you want to make along the way. So after the year is up, there is a page so you can look back on, so pieces and songs I have learned this year, so ones that you have actually completed and that you have learned. And again, it's just another nice keepsake if you wanted to keep it. It'll make a nice gift for someone as well who is starting to learn how to play the piano, or they need a bit more encouragement. And at the back of the book, there's some really useful lessons that are all linked to lessons, of course, on the Bitesize Piano channel. So again, more motivation, video lessons, loads of information that's actually useful. Other useful things like the circle of fifths for just like musical reference points, all major and minor scales. So there's no excuse to not practice scales, and you can tick those off as you learn them as well. There's a chart with lots of different useful piano chords on it, which is just like piano diagrams rather than written out as music. And then there's 10 pages of wide staves to make any musical notes on, and they're wider than normal as well. So if you're not as confident writing out music, it makes it just a bit easier to write out the music when the lines are a bit wider. So as I said, there are two different covers. They're completely different from each other. This one's like an ink splotchy, or you could call it, 101 Dalmatians. It's just black and white. And then this one is the blue and orange colours, so the colours that I use in Bitesize Piano. Again, the link to them is down below. So if you want to support this channel and you need a bit more enthusiasm, or you want to be more organised with your practicing, and then getting yourself one of these books would be amazing. So I hope to see you in the next video. That's the end of this video. If you have a request, please leave them in the comment section of this video. Also remember to like and subscribe. I've left some videos here you might like, so go and check those out. I also have a course, so if you would like to learn how to read music from scratch, go visit bitesizepianocourse.co.uk. You can enroll and start learning. I'll see you in the next video.